here in Atlanta for the first time. Baruchim Habu'im. We are glad to have you. So where are you at? First, I want to give a land acknowledgement. You sit on the land of the indigenous people of the Muskogee and Creek tribe.
Yes.
We are also home of Martin Luther King, birthplace, home of civil rights. We are also the place where 6 Asian women met their death due to gun violence. So we've got amazing things happening here, and we've got great room for growth. This is the Parsha, the first Parsha of the year. After last week, we danced and we unrolled the Torah and had a beautiful time. But time, like the Torah, is not linear. It's circular. So now we are back to the beginning again. The beginning is the creation story. The creation story, and we also have the story of Adam and Eve. Probably the most known Parsha out of any, and just about every culture and religion knows fairly about the same thing about the beginning. So I had to try to figure out what about this Parsha really influenced me and let me just connect with it to what I do in my daily life, which is fight for the rehumanitization of people of all races, colors, genders. So the first thing I thought about was, well, where are we as far as building a world like Hashem created the world? We as individuals, we may not build an entire world like Hashem did, but we can build a world for ourselves. We can build a world around us. We have the power to change and influence that little circumference that we live in. Now, what does that look like? Well, we don't always have to lead everything. We can change our world maybe by following or making sure the right people are in place to lead. It was about 2 years ago, I think, there was an anti-Semitism panel, and there were no Jews on it at all. And everybody was like, how in the world can you speak about an experience that you've never had yourself? So the people who should know the most about anti-Semitism should be people who have faced anti-Semitism. Let Jews decide what anti-Semitism is. When it comes to reproductive rights, who should be deciding except people who have the ability to reproduce? Why are men deciding what we'll do with our rights? When it comes to LGBTQ rights, why are straight people deciding what we will do and who will be married and what rights we'll have? Put those people who are closest to that issue in charge. People who have been racialized, let them lead the way in as far as DEI and racial issues. Why do we have white people in charge of diversity all over the country? Since George Floyd died, they said that there's only been a 3% increase in people of color doing racial diversity or racial equity work. What's going on? It's as crazy as non-Jews deciding anti-Semitism. You've got to put the people who are closest to the issue, who have the lived experience, in front to lead. So, that being said, the next thing of the Parsha that really caught me was I saw that Adam, after he and Eve had eaten the apple, they hid from God. They were in their nakedness. And God was looking for them. And he asked them, why are you hiding? And they said, we are ashamed. You can't be ashamed of where we are in this point of our history, because shame will cause people to burn books. It will cause people to take history lessons out of school and say, let's not discuss history anymore, because history might make people feel bad. That's what shame will do. That's how Adam and Eve felt in the garden during this Parsha. But on the other side of that discomfort that you feel is growth. Whenever you have to go through something that might not feel good to you is where you're going to learn the most. So instead of maybe being afraid of what might happen when you're not feeling comfortable or have to face issues in our past as a country, and especially here in the South, where we have a legacy of the Confederacy, we have a legacy of slavery. Those are tough things that we have to grapple with. But instead of being afraid, and I think in the past we've been taught, let's not talk about politics, let's not talk about religion. We need to be told or taught how to talk about difficult subjects in constructive manners. Because when you don't talk about things is when things get bad. So whenever it's time that we're trying to reckon with difficult issues, dive right in. And on the other side, we'll all come out better for it. So that's all I have. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.